Hey guys, good morning and Shabbat Shalom to everybody. I'm in India, Goa, the western state of Goa, also called the Hawaii of India. 50 beaches there. Friends, today is a wonderful day. Sabbath days are beautiful. Make sure you get yours. We hear the music in the background drop. Since I don't know how to edit, I put it on. It's the cover music of Love Story on the piano. The Love Story of 1970, that movie. The legend. Now, there's a bigger legend than that, which exceeds this and anything else. Is Bible. You can call Bible the love story of God. Although it doesn't appear on the first read, but it is what it is. It's God's love story with mankind. He loves us. Provided there's a caveat and a condition, and therefore it's a covenant. Covenant is an agreement which involves bilateral obligations and responsibilities which have to be discharged, which have to be done to win his heart. But that doesn't change him. It's basically love and compassion rolled in one. We unfortunately in India we have a word for it, karuna, Karuna, which combines two words, love and compassion, and that is what he is. Friends, remember that if you go to a court, okay, you will see the top lawyers make sure when they argue, they keep in smaller courts or any court, they keep in mind what is the Supreme Court ruling about this case, like similar case. Because no smaller court can overturn what is or supersede what has been already judgment has been delivered on that by a higher court. The highest is Supreme Court. So he'll say, Raj, why are you telling us this? To let you know, do not get deceived no more. What is the Supreme Court is the finale, the climax. No matter who says what, Supreme Court will win. Because it's a higher court, it's the apex, the highest court. Similarly, the words of Jesus Christ are the highest, Father and Sons. Do not try to put Paul's words, the false apostle Paul, the Antichrist Paul's words before him. Remember the danger the churches are in who say saved by grace alone, through faith alone, in Christ alone. Grace was the word Jesus has not used in the Bible. If it were so important, paramount, he would have surely done it. But he didn't. Okay, that's one big red flag. Secondly, the word faith or the criteria of faith was not used on the day of judgment. We have Matthew 25, 31, 46, the goats and sheep parable. We have Revelation 20, 11, 14, where books were opened and people were judged by their words. So again and again the Bible tells us these are the Supreme Court judgments. Why fight, guys? Yes, I have seen in lower court. Daddy used to take me when I was 15 or 16. Now I know why. He was fond of hearing the top lawyers and he wanted me to pick up some English. Because India doesn't speak English. They speak other languages. English is sparsely spoken. But he saw my penchant, my love for the language, and he used to speak good English as well. Being an Indian, surprising. But God had bigger plans, that I may be able to express myself to a wider audience. So he took me to the court, and I saw there that one lawyer for 3 hours, he was very passionate in High Court, second to Supreme Court. A pretty high court, pretty high, that High Court, compared to the smaller courts. And he continuously pounded on one point and gave hundreds of judgments. While Daddy's friend, Mr. Manohar, his name was Manohar, small guys, I remember he had grey eyes, He had a thinnish voice. He didn't have a very strong voice, a brilliant mind. He was sitting there smiling. He didn't say a word. He let him do 3 hours argument. And then the judge says, "Do you want to say something, Mr. Manohar?" He said, "Yes, Your Honor." In his typical voice, he said, "There is a standing Supreme Court judgment, and which says contrary to what he is saying. And that's all I want to say." And he sat down in 1 minute. Judge started smiling. The judge had no power to overrule Supreme Court judgment. Cut to the chase. He awarded the case in favor of Dad's friend. Dad looked at me. He says, "Look at this. It's better than any movie I've seen in my life." And there are no dramatics. There's only stuff, no fluff in the High Court of India. I bet elsewhere too. Anyway, what does it teach us? Do not argue against Supreme Court, Jesus and Father. On the last day, on the day of judgment, they will use the criteria of what? Loving compassion. Read Matthew 25, 31, 46, Revelation 20, 11, 15, the teachings of Jesus, the Psalms, Matthew, the Beatitudes. You will be surprised. It all revolves around love, compassion, forgiveness, righteousness, and truth. All these will be taken into consideration. Remember what Jesus says, "Do to others as you would want them to do to you. For this is the law and this is the prophets," teachings of the prophets. It is fulfillment of that. What? Do to others as you would want them to do to you. Practice kindness, practice loving compassion. Haven't you read in America, where I was there for 20 years? It is more important to be kind than to be right. It is true. Don't show your rights all the time. Practice deliberately, consciously, loving kindness. That's what he's going to look at on the last day. And that's exactly he did. When Jesus came back to judge the mankind, he separated them into two groups. One were the sheep, one were the goats. Sheep were on his right hand, who were saved, but the goats on his left, who professed to believe. But they were rejected because James had already warned us in the chapter of James 2. James 2, 20, 24 and all. "You foolish man," he says, "don't you know faith is dead without good works?" Paul served us dead faith, and fortunately we got stuck with it. For 550 years at least, the churches have been harping upon that falsehood, which was rejected. Again, I will summarize this. The Supreme Court judgment here is that no faith and all will be used. Criteria of works of loving compassion will be used on the day of judgment. Karuna. Actions of karuna will be used. Not that you develop compassion but don't express it. You have to. It's all about the fruit.